changed, started acting strange, had my life in my own hands. Meanwhile, I was wasting time, thinking things were fine, but you had other plans. Behind your weak disguise, all the worthless lies, I was wrong and now I know. Don't think that I won't try, this is not goodbye.
It's Micah and Ernie and the rest of the motherfuckers that live inside of him.
Actually, for the purposes of this, I'm not gonna have it going.
You sure?
Yeah, because I don't want that interfering with audio.
Oh, the mute. We don't want to get muted. Don't you have a playlist?
Well, that, and also I don't want it interfering with what...
Okay, I can't have you being blocked. So, can we move this box around?
No, oh my god, stop touching things.
Hey, y'all.
Oh god, what did you do? Oh, Jesus.
Can you not just refresh it?
No.
Can you go back? Can you push the back? Redo. Undo. Yeah.
There.
Now take that box out.
No.
Just go get another chair.
Jesus Christ. Look, there, and then there.
All right.
Stop, don't touch anything else.
Hey guys, it's been a while since I've been here for various reasons. Primarily, hey, we're about to talk about it, boss. That's why we're coming live. It is not good. I'm gonna play the full audio because you know I'm a recording bitch. In the state of Arkansas, it's 100% legal to record people as long as one person is aware, and you can be the one person. So, we're not naming any names. We're not like on a like takedown. We're not trying to dox a clinic or this doctor. However, I think it's very, very important and very relevant to show how derelict in duties these doctors are in the mental health community. I mean, this was absolutely, honestly, in my opinion, narcissistic abuse, what I experienced. It was a complete 38 minutes of gaslighting, lying, intellectual dishonesty, thinking that Ernie, Xander, the system, would not be able to advocate for themselves. She's probably used to talking to all of her patients this way, or any colleague or anybody in her life. She's probably used to being able to talk her way out of conflict. She tried to check me a couple of times. I tried to check her a couple of times, but I had to remind myself that I was asked here by the system, not just Xander. the system and his therapist, let's get that clear, Dr. Scotty is the bomb.com, said it was a great idea. So I want everyone to know, before we get into this, that this was something we have reflected on for over a month. I have asked Xander several times, are you sure that you still want me to come? Are you sure? Because I can take it to like a nuclear level when it comes to, I mean, I used to be a union rep. I mean, I literally debated in high school and taught debate and communications for 13 years. And I literally am a professional activist. So I wanted them to know that, like, I cannot promise you that I'm going to be able to control my own personality and or triggers and or mental health places. And yet the system and his other doctor, all insisted that I come. I even gave him a way out this afternoon, didn't I? I said, if you don't want to go, I completely understand, or you don't want me to go, I'll drive you, even in the parking lot. I said, do you want to go home? Do you want to? So I just want to know that this was not, and I'd like for you to actually talk about that this was not me trying to interfere in your medical care at all.
No, this
at all.
was me asking you to be there as my advocate.
Can y'all hear him?
No, I asked Micah to come to help me advocate because I'm not very good advocating for my own mental health.
I mean, I think you're good at speaking up, and you're very...
No, but I forget things.
Yeah, you're not a detail-oriented person. You know, you're not a... Hold on just a second, y'all.
Which, if you're wondering why we don't have music, it's because we don't want any of this to get muted.
We do not want this to get muted.
Because we are doing this purely for VOD purposes.
It's real, because we didn't expect anybody to even be watching. We just need this recorded while it's fresh. So before we go any farther, let's back up just a little bit. Last month, during the system's telemed appointment with his medication doctor, his psychiatrist, meaning the one that gives the meds, she basically flat out accused him of abusing his benzodiazepines. Period. Point blank, like straight out said, you seem overly medicated today. Now, instead of being the bad bitch that I am, because I would have set the bitch straight and told her right then, no, I just had sex. I'm chilling like a motherfucker. Like, I'm really happy right now. I'm in the zone. Because that's what it was. We had just had sex. I even went into the details. That's in the recording. Of like how you have ED sometimes. So we couldn't have had sex had you had... Because he kept having to tell the bitch he wasn't on lorazepam. Anyways, so let's go back. So that's what happened. It was a very contentious call that I felt was bad. Because what we found out when his Social Security claim got his doctor's records, this bitch has been treating him for 1.5 years and does not have him diagnosed with DID. And I will refer to her as a bitch. Because anybody that gaslights a medical patient should not be in psychiatry. Period. So I will refer to her as any name I prefer. So, except I'm not going to be mean enough to dox her ass. I won't do that. I won't do that yet. Because we all know that what I'm capable of. We all know who I'm associated with, okay? So anyways, what had happened was, the reason this phone call was particularly contentious is, number one, she was accusing him of abusing his drugs that he hadn't even had. He had not even had that day. I was here. It was the one day I got to see him in a week. And I was here, okay? And I hear her use the words, "Are you alone?" Hey, Joey. I hear her, this is last month. This is how we got up to today, okay, y'all? So I hear her say on the phone a bunch of gaslighting shit that I don't like. So she says this, she says that. Like, for example, you just seem really overly medicated. And he was like, I'm not. And he was chilled as fuck though. Like, he was laid on the pillow like this. It was all telemed, right? We had literally.
Psychiatrist.
Yeah. Yes. So this is where we're at, basically, of how we got to today. So ever since that phone call, and since we found out with his disability claim that this bitch has his diagnosis as, just wait a minute, wait for it. She has him diagnosed with depression, not even major, by the way.
Yeah.
Major depression is actually a diagnosis that I have. So I have more paperwork and more diagnoses. I could get on disability in like 2 seconds. And this dude's got depression and PTSD. Nothing about anxiety. Nothing about DID. Even if she didn't believe in DID, she should say something like dissociative episodes. Believes they have DID. Whatever. Bitch hasn't written a single word in a year and a half. He has been her patient since June of 2021 when he discovered his system. But this is I had to remind her. We're going to play the audio. So if you're just now getting here, we're going to play the whole audio. And y'all tell me if I was a bitch, I feel like I could have went further. I feel like I should have left out of there swinging. Because in the end, I'm not kidding y'all. And then we're doing I'm trying to stay in a linear topic, but I'm very pressed and triggered. So I'm trying really hard to tell this linearly. Yeah, exactly. All of that stuff y'all are saying, 100%. And by the way, why does it seem like I'm doing all the talking?
Because, I don't know, you don't need to breathe.
Okay, but, so, after that phone call,
Because you speak so well, there's nothing that I need to add.
I know, but I need you to make it clear that, like...
Yeah, I'm back here doing, like, the thumbs up. And,
I know, but for the record, can you please make it clear that I don't control you, I don't tell you what to say at a doctor, I don't interfere, and hi, thank you, I am pissed and passionate. Because you're not going to hurt people I love, but you're also just not going to do wrong by people with mental health problems. Like, literally.
What up, Cozy?
I mean, like, literally. I have been in the system. Mental
Cozy's
health
in
system.
our Discord, by the way.
Oh, yeah. What's up? I'm glad you're here. I've been in the system myself. I didn't have to say that to the bitch. I pretended like I actually was a psychologist. I never said it. I just kind of insinuated it because I said I had been consulting my colleagues. We're going to get to the video. The audio. It's not video, it's audio. Yes, in Arkansas, it is completely legal to record without their knowledge. So, everything that we're talking about and playing here, I am not going to dox this person or say their full name or the clinic. I'm not going to do that. However, it is very important.
We will just refer to it as the Christian clinic.
The Christian place. So, get this.
So you're sitting there and I'm just looking around and I was like...
There's crosses everywhere. There's crosses.
Fucking religious shit everywhere in there.
So here's what we get out of the whole thing. She tried to gaslight us the whole time. He switched because he is so agoraphobic and this bitch made him come to the office. So when she said, I need you to come in person, this is last month. I'm going back to set this up. When she said, oh yeah, we have to get it. That's a non-starter. Okay. Yes. It is Xander. It's Xander right now. I'm Micah. I'm the exotic, lovely girlfriend, who also happens to be a bad bitch when it comes to conflict.
What?
Like, you're not gonna out-talk me, bitch, and you're definitely not gonna gaslight me.
There's your name.
So, long story short, she asked him to come in.
Wait.
Now,
damn, it's clicking the wrong
she
name.
knows for a fact that he is agoraphobic to the point of freaking the fuck out to go down to the corner gas station. Yet asked him to come in this month because he seemed overly medicated on their telemed call. So I consulted my colleagues. I will not name names, but I actually have a really dear friend that we've mentioned before who is a very well-renowned psychologist in our town, in Little Rock, and also was married to a system for 20 years and had 2 daughters with her. And so he has been advising and helping us since day one. Obviously, because he's my friend, Ernie could not go to him for help, sadly, because it's conflict of interest or whatever, and that sucks because he's actually would be the only person in my life I trust. However, let me be clear. This is Ernie's medication psychiatrist. not his therapist. That his therapist is cool, like 100%.
Dr. Scotty's the
Dr.
shit.
Scotty is the shit. Like 100%. I need to make that clear. This is just the bitch that prescribes his medication. So I consulted I consulted my friend. TikTok. I consulted my colleague about that she was making him come in, that she's accusing him of over medicating, that she wants him to come in and he's agoraphobic, and that we also found out in his medical records from SSA that she has nothing about dissociative identity disorder or dissociation or anything, not even anxiety attacks, not even night terrors, nothing, just regular ass little depression and PTSD. Now, PTSD will get you a medical card for marijuana in Arkansas, but it will not get you on disability, okay? So, nothing about complex trauma. She ain't got shit in the records, right? So, it starts to hit me, and I'm talking to my colleague, and we're talking it out for like 3 hours, right? And he starts to lead me into some things. He said, you need to go with him next month. And then he consulted Dr. Scotty, his therapist. Dr. Scotty said it was a good idea. And then again, I asked over and over again, are y'all sure y'all want me to go? Because
we know how you are.
Right. And if you actually know how I really am, I have a tendency to fight people, like literally with my mouth. And I literally make them feel red to filth. And it's a skill. It's a skill. But anyways, I'm really good at arguing. How else do I say that? It's paused. What does that mean?
Just give it a second.
Give it a second? Yeah, so Cozy, what would you add to that? It says, sounds like you needed to be there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because, like I said, I brought her there as my advocate. Because, well, that's freezing a lot. I brought her there as my advocate because I'm not great at advocating for myself when it comes to doctors and stuff like that. Like, I tend to just let the doctor talk and go, okay. Like, I'll tell the doctor what's wrong with them, and then I let them do their diagnosis, and I just say, okay, and I don't ever argue with them about it.
So, my colleague's like, if you're going, just remember you're there for him, and try to keep that in your forefront, because I know how you are, but you do need to push. You need to get some answers. And he said, so do your Micah thing, and you're going to have to push her on some topics. And it's so sad that she has been his doctor. Let's repeat the receipts. June 2021, she became his medication doctor. He found out about his system in May of 2021. Literally, this bitch has never told him she does not believe in DID and all this other shit that we found out today. That never said a word, just going along.
To be fair, she never flats out says that she doesn't believe in DID, but when you listen to the way she words things, it becomes very obvious she does not believe in DID.
She went around the bushes and back around and ran 10 laps around the building to try to avoid a direct answer. But since I consulted my colleague, he told me, quote, when you ask her if she believes in DID, if she wavers at all, if she says anything but yes, then that means no. And God damn it if he wasn't right. He would be. He was married to someone with DID. He is a well-renowned therapist.
Right, and you can kind of tell in the audio, once it reached the point of where we realize that she doesn't believe in DID, Garrett comes out and basically shuts everything down.
Garrett literally it sounds like he's like going along with the doctor, but like we made like this eye contact thing, and it was like, I could tell he was like, nah, bruh. Like, we just need to get out of here. You know what I mean? So at the end, it kind of seems like we're backing off, but she called me honey at one point. And you can probably hear me on the audio. We haven't listened to it yet, but you can probably hear me go, because if I wasn't there for him, cops would have been called. And you know what made me mad is I picked red nail polish. By the way, I wore a black pantsuit. Like, I was like all dressed up. I hate wearing makeup. I look so bad on screen. I look like so clowny.
No, you look pretty.
I look clowny. Like, this is not how I normally look. But anyways, whatever. I dressed up because I know that she's a judgmental. So going back to the reflection since last month when they decided they wanted to bring me in, I had to really like think about this bitch, everything I know about her, and I had figured out two things. One, there was a miscommunication from the jump. The reason she's going off of his old medical records before he discovered his system.
Right. She's going off the records of my previous psychiatrist, MD, before I even knew before we even knew we were a system.
Yeah, so Cozy, literally, I've gotten so frustrated with this because as a person who dissociates, you know you would rather avoid conflict at all costs to the point of going inside, right? I mean, it's dissociation is also avoiding conflict. I mean, that's what you do. And see, I'm borderline, so I'm just crazy as fuck, so I will fight anybody. And I'm an Aries. Like, literally, I was born to fight. So right. I'm, like, looking for fights
just all the time. From the beginning of the audio, you can hear in my tone and the way I'm speaking just how...
Oh, God. So, yes. So
how bad my anxiety was and just how distraught I was having to be there. I do not
like having all this makeup on and stuff. I feel like a clown. I'm sorry. Why am I even worried about that right now? Okay.
Exactly.
So, but you're right, Joey. When you talk down to me, but she talked down to me from the beginning. She tried to get me out of the room. Right? You'll hear. But we need to get to today. So, like I said, I reflected on what would be the best way. Oh yeah, and she's been his doctor for 1.5 years, Cozy. That's what's so disgusting about this and why we've decided to put the recording out. Because you have been his doctor for 1.5 years. You met Garrett before. You've met him. And literally she acted like she didn't know who the fuck that was when Garrett popped out today. She said, huh? I said, he has an Irish accent. And she goes, oh. Caught it. I caught all of her passive aggressive Karen ass bullshit. And it was just... So, I just want to make it clear one more time that I have never interfered in your medical care.
No.
And that this was all something that he wanted because we've discovered since last month that this bitch was not diagnosing him and was also gaslighting him and accusing him of being a drug addict. And it was very, 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 very angering. And that's why he asked me to go. Plus, motherfucker can't drive. Motherfucker's agoraphobic. So I had to go. He needed me to hold his hand. So we get there today. Trying to stay calm. Trying to talk about everything else under the sun. I made notes in my phone. I had bullet points. Like, this bitch was not going to get me. I was looking up, like, where do we make ethics complaints so that I could drop that shit on her. I was doing all that shit, but I was trying to, I was otherwise on the outside just trying to, but on the inside I was like on my phone and shit. Oh, I just thought about this and, So you look hot as hell. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I know this is not how he likes to unpack things. He would rather us just not talk about it for the rest of the night. But he did want to do this, for the record, right?
No.
All right, because I feel like I'm losing you a little bit.
I'm just letting you get through it all so we can get to the fucking recording.
Get to the recording. Okay. So, he starts freaking out in the waiting room. And his legs bouncing, and he starts telling me that the receptionists are looking at him and judging him, and they're going to put him in a hospital. And I was like, they're not even looking at us. I said, but if they were looking over here, they were probably looking at how fine I am, and they're probably jealous. Because I had on, like, this black, what is it called? Pantsuit. Like a black coat. You know what I'm talking about. A suit coat. For women. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Why can't I think of the name of it? But anyways. So, he starts freaking out. I'm trying to calm him down. All of a sudden, we hear the name Gregory. And I think, does this bitch not know his first name? I'm like, it's been 1.5 years. Because one of the things that my colleague pointed out to me was that the clinic that he's going to is for the Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, government insurance people. So they have like a lot. One of the things he told me is she also has a lot of patients and she probably doesn't have the time to go through his old records or like consult with his therapist. Like, why would she not consult with his fucking therapist? Like, I don't get that. So Right. Thank you. So, yeah, blazer. Thank you, Joey. Thank you. And I had the power earrings on, which are still here, but they're starting to hurt, so I'm going to take them off. Okay, so when you don't wear earrings ever, except for special occasions, they start to hurt because you're not used to having them in. Ow. That one hurt a lot. I'm going to have to put some Neosporin on that. All right. So he's having horrible anxiety. Horrible. And then he call his name, and she's like, who is this? To him. I said, I'm Micah.
Yeah, and she's like, and who is Micah?
Yeah. So it goes from there, but he was actually totally melting down on me, and I knew he was going to switch. But I hoped he didn't, because him and I knew that Garrett knew the plan and everything, and I knew that Garrett was aware of the plan, but Xander and I had already discussed all the things that were going to be said. But you'll hear in the audio that he is literally childlike almost, because his anxiety is, and he made it about maybe half the appointment before Garrett.
Yeah, well, Garrett took over once it was the point of just like, we just need to get the fuck out of here
because this bitch is...
She doesn't believe in DID.
Alright, so now for the big reveal. We're going to play the audio now. We may stop it and discuss, because again, we are making this video not just for the chat. We're making it for records, and we would like to discuss how certain things that are said are harmful or how it makes us feel. Okay? As a spouse, as a mental health patient myself, and how it makes him feel as the actual patient. So, here we are. Again, it is 100% legal in the state of Arkansas to record anyone without their knowledge, because it's a one-party state, meaning only one party that's participating in the recording has to know about it. So, again, I'm not naming any names. I'm not finna dox their clinic. Not gonna do any of that as of yet. But I will play this recording for educational purposes, to help other people that are struggling to advocate for themselves with their doctors, and for all the people with DID that have to beg and knock on the doors to get their diagnosis. It's fucking bullshit. So here we go. You're going to pick it up. We're in the hallway walking to her office, okay?
I'm Micah. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Can y'all hear? It's not going to be very...
At some point, I'm going to talk with you alone, okay? No, he doesn't have to do that.
Can y'all hear that? She talks quietly and condescendingly. She said, at some point, I'm going to need to talk to you alone, to him. And I said, no, he doesn't have to do that.
Okay. So that's usually done to protect the patient.
From who, me?
No, it's generally done to protect the patient because there are questions that might be asked. I don't know if he wants to.
No, I want her here.
Okay. How can I help you?
Unclear why I needed to come into the office.
Yeah.
Because leaving my house puts me like this.
Yeah. So, there is a benzo that was prescribed, and at the last visit, you were overly sedated.
I hadn't taken any that day.
Okay.
I was with him, and we had just had vigorous sex, and so he was just very relaxed.
Yeah.
And that is a very big concern of mine, that you seem to think that he's overly medicated.
It's a high dose.
Well, technically, no. I've been taking 4 milligrams of Klonopin for 10 years. I've never gone above 4 milligrams.
So I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah, I'm not here to argue, I promise.
Okay.
But that's simply intellectually dishonest, what you just said. that it's a high dosage.
It is a high dose.
Mm-hmm.
It is a high dose. So, we started out, and also, whenever the visits were initially done, when you first came to the clinic, there was
Okay.
telemedicine.
We're going into a section where she's talking about telemed. And we don't really quite understand this line of thinking, but I let her know, but I take 4 milligrams of Klonopin for 10 years. You're not being intellectually, I said you're being intellectually dishonest. So she's on her heels already. How do you think we're doing so far? I don't know. But anyways, we're going into a section where she's talking about telemed, and we weren't quite sure what. Because, the first question he asked was, why did I have to come here when I get like this? Because you can actually hear his leg going like this. But anyways, I guess that's why she's addressing telemed now.
Visits were in person.
Right, I've only had one in-office visit. I had one with Dr. Scotty, and I had one with you, and the rest have been telemed ever since then because of the fact that it gives me such anxiety to come here.
Yes, sir. I understand. I'm just saying that, before, when you were seeing Sonia,
I saw Sonia through telemed.
but even after...
Okay, did y'all catch that? Because I'm a communications expert. He said, but I was seeing Sonia telemed. And she said, but... Oh no, she wouldn't concede. And she won't concede, Cozy. She will not believe our sex story. It comes back up. Just wait to see what she says about it. It comes back up. Okay, but did you notice the but and yes, sir, from the jump, she was just condescending and gaslighting and talking to him like he's a child, to be honest. And I wasn't having it. And my body language was calm, cool, collected, and straight and square with my head tilted like this. Oh shit, I didn't fast forwarded it. I'm sorry, y'all. I knew I was gonna fuck it up at some point.
I get it. I generally, when you first came to the clinic, there wasn't telemedicine.
Okay.
This'll work.
Visits were in person.
Right, I've only had one in-office visit. I had one with Dr. Scotty, and I had one with you, and the rest have been telemed ever since then because of the fact that it gives me such anxiety to come here.
Yes, sir. I understand.
Yes, sir. I
I'm just saying that, before, when you were seeing Sonia,
Facts,
I
girl.
saw Sonia through telemed.
but even after, before 2020, in 2020, when you first saw her, the initial visit. But the other reason is that being on a controlled substance, part of my responsibility is...
Do you see how she said, I'm sorry, I'm a communications person. She said, being on a controlled substance. Like, we don't know that we're taking addictive medications for years. Like, we've never heard of benzodiazepines. Like, this is our first time at therapy. If she gets away with this with all patients, thank you, Joey. And that's what he said. He said,
Yeah,
I came...
That's what I said. My initial visit was in person, but then after that was moved to telemed because I can't handle coming to in-person visits.
It's that. It's on period.
And then she tried to make it sound like, well, no, before that you were coming in person. No, I was doing telemed before that.
But I wanted to stop her at that point and be like, before that doesn't matter. He didn't have DID, didn't know he had it. He's always had it since childhood. But he didn't know. His system had not revealed himself. He was 38 years old when he found out he had childhood trauma. You're not listening, bitch. Ugh.
Yeah, but see, I was seeing Sonia before COVID.
Right, before COVID. Yeah. And also, he didn't know he had a fucking army in his head. I mean, let's just be real. Ernie. We're talking
Yes,
about Ernie.
When I say I am referring to Ernie.
Well, he's host now, and it's really difficult now. Everything's very blended
Yes.
with Ernie's life, so he does do that a
'Cause
lot.
I remember shit like I did it, but it's not my memories, it's Ernie's memories.
It's just what happens to when you change
I've
host.
just gotten so used to saying I and not stopping myself anymore when I say I.
Also, right before things changed. Yes, things change. People can have a fucking experience like what I had right before I met Ernie. I was attacked in my home by a guy I was on a date with. Literally physically attacked and spit on, and the cops had to come, and I was held hostage. Like, it was a whole thing. Don't you think that would change my psychiatric treatment and my notes? The fuck, bitch? So we get into that.
Controlled substance.
Controlled
And
substance.
in the condition that I did see you at the last visit, and I hear what you're saying,
Yes,
vigorous sex, and I get it. I get it. I generally don't see that level of a response. You appeared overly sedated.
He hadn't had a single lorazepam that day.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been able. No offense, but he's on Viagra because if he takes, it's either sex or lorazepam.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't have been able to even have sex that day without medication, but either the Viagra if he had taken lorazepam. But that's really, because like I've had a lot of time to reflect since he asked me to come here in an advocate capacity. And we really need your help, Dr. Washington, because and I really think that this has all started from a huge miscommunication whenever Sonia left or he left Sonia. I don't think it was conveyed to you that he had a psychotic break, called the emergency helpline because he was Canfield's patient. And Dr. Scotty is the first person he said, I have an altar to. Then he met his whole system, and the rest is history. That's actually why he changed from Canfield, despite the fact she was fired and all that. We're not going to that.
She's not fired. She wasn't fired.
Well, she's gone.
Yes, she fucking
But
was,
the
bitch.
point
We
I'm
know the
making
whole
is that's
story.
not why he came to you. He came to you because he had to seek overarching treatment as he discovered his system revealed himself. And that's why there are no notes in Canfield's files or any previous notes when he went to Rivendell and all the years he's been on his medications. He did not know he had DID. I am the one actually who met one of the altars and asked him, actually had to pull it out of him. I said, you have a
Thank
therapist
you.
and psychiatrist. Have you ever mentioned
The whole
these other
time.
people at the time? I didn't know anything about DID.
Karen
And
as
he
fuck.
said no. Yeah, we both didn't. And so literally in June when he became your patient, he was just now learning he had a system. And so that's how the diagnosis got slipped through the cracks. And that's why you went off of Canfield's notes, which I would too, you know. Because he'd been seeing her a while and he'd been, before that, seeing other people. So his whole medical record up until the age of 38 years old reflects no DID because he was unaware himself. As you know how systems work, they hide. That is my primary goal is to hide.
At this point, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt that she believes in DID. I'm trying to use the tactic of we're here to help each other. I think there's been a miscommunication. So I said there, as you know, systems ... That is my way, in my mind, of saying I'm assuming you believe in DID and you're an ethical person and an ethical psychiatrist. But we will soon find out.
Well, also though, like she didn't stop her and be like, "I feels like you're not listening," because you can kind of halfway hear it in the recording. She is typing. Well, I don't know if she's typing what Mike is saying in the computer, but she's typing something into my file.
But all I hear is this. Remember when Kamala Harris in the 2020 election debate said, "Excuse me, I'm speaking." That was the full energy of this entire 38 minutes. Although she does raise her voice when I get under her skin. It's getting there. Yeah, she's going, She's probably writing, girlfriend is a bitch. Girlfriend thinks she knows everything. Well, bitch, I do. You met your match.
Until they're forced out. And it was actually his conversation with Dr. Scotty that evening on the emergency line is when the rest of his system all came out at once because they were like back to back. You're trying to kill us. You're trying to get rid of us. I've been present for all of this. And, fast forward a year and a half later, he's in his disability claims. Obviously, he cannot work in the state if he can't even drive or function in the public. Basically, the lawyer has said when the records came through, because there's no DID, like
So, I hear what you're saying.
and I think it's because it slipped through the.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to keep discounting you and gaslighting you. She is such a dismissive cunt. I'm still trying to work with her at this point. Right, Cozy? Yeah, no, I got the impression that she did not want me there, nor did she give a fuck what I had to say until I start challenging her. Then she starts giving a fuck.
Cracks.
Yeah, the reality is, in the clinical world, though,
She just told a patient who has DID and another person who cares about this patient who happens to also have mental health problems that we don't know our own realities. Let's think about that for a second. She used the word reality in a session with a patient with DID. Moving on.
let you know, DID is just hardly ever prescribed, diagnosed. It just, and I hear what you're saying, and I see your smile.
Well, it's just,
Yeah. Now, dissociative states, but actually a
I smiled 'cause
dissociative
she pissed me off.
personality disorder. It's just not something that is diagnosed generally. Now, he has other diagnoses that may allow him to have.
well, let me ask you this. What do you think the harm is to a mental health person who's misdiagnosed for years?
I think there can be harm. And I want to, I think there can be harm, but I think the important thing, what's more important than the diagnosis, is treatment of the symptoms.
Okay. Did y'all hear that shit? Did y'all hear that shit? She literally, I asked her, how harmful do you think it is to be a mental health patient and be misdiagnosed for years? And she comes back with, hold on, let's rewind it just a second. Let's rewind that part. This is medical malpractice.
Obviously, he cannot work in the
Sorry if
state
I rewound
if
it
he
too
can't
far.
even drive or function in the public.
But it's been a year and a half, Joey.
Basically,
June
the lawyer
2021.
has said when the records came through, because there's no DID, like
We're screwed is what I was about to say, but I was trying to be
I
professional.
hear what you're saying.
I hear
and
what
I think
you're
it's
saying.
because it slipped
but-
through the cracks.
Yeah, the reality is, in the clinical world, though, just to let you know, DID is just hardly ever prescribed.
Lies.
Diagnosed.
Why is
just-
it in the
and I
DSM-5,
hear what you're
bitch?
saying, and I see your smile.
I
But
smiled
it's
because I was about to
just-
fight you.
Now, dissociative states, but
Dissociative
actually a
states?
dissociative personality disorder.
That's not a thing.
It's just not something that is diagnosed generally. Now, he has other diagnoses that may allow him.
Yeah, just
to
regular
have,
ass depression.
Well, let me ask you this: what do you
It's the
think
same as having
harm
Alzheimer's.
is to a mental health person who's misdiagnosed for years?
Listen again.
I think there can be harm.
There can be.
And I want to, I think there can be harm, but I think the important thing, what's more important than the diagnosis, is treatment of the symptoms.
Well, obviously you cannot fix it with a pill,
Right.
nor is there a psychological test or anything for DID. So, but yet it's still in the DSM-5, and there will be a dissociative spectrum coming in the DSM-6.
Okay.
So, like,
This is why I asked you to come with me.
Sure,
This is all
sure.
above my head kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
and I've gotten some input from colleagues.
And that's great. That's wonderful.
So basically, what I'm hearing from you is you're not comfortable diagnosing any patients with DID.
I'm not saying never.
But you've been with him for a year and a half. Literally a year and a half. And the last 3 sessions I've been present for, which I know you have a problem with that too. Like, we can address that if you'd like. The last 3 sessions, you have not even asked who you're speaking with. Did you know in June they had a host change? This is not Ernie. This is Xander. Ernie he was dormant for a while. He's come back in a completely changed state. He locked away half his memories. He doesn't even remember me. It's pretty sad. And you have not asked once who you're even speaking with. So my concern is his safety. And my concern is that if you are one of the naysayers in the psychiatric community, which there are many, that has a problem with DID, then he's not safe with you.
Okay.
Boom, bitch!
Dr. Scotty agrees.
Then I threw Dr.
And
Scotty's name in
I
there.
understand your hesitation as someone, you don't want to get the reputation.
Y'all notice she got real quiet during that whole monologue? She ain't said in a minute. Because I was schooling the fuck out that bitch. I hope y'all heard all that shit. I hope y'all heard that. I said my concern is his safety. And if you're one of the naysayers in the psychological community that doesn't believe in DID, then you are not safe. He is not safe with you. She didn't say no during all that part. Yeah, exactly. No in there.
Should I be in that person
That's not it. That's not it.
Well,
I mean, you can't.
Me getting
That's
So
not
gaslighting
it.
me.
Scotty,
That I-
Dr. Scotty talked to me about DID is the whole reason why I started coming in here in the first place. And it's, other than Dr. Scotty's, I just don't feel like I'm getting help.
Okay. Okay.
Good job,
I
Xander.
hear what you're saying. I want you to have the best, and I do not. I'm not trying to avoid that diagnosis because the way it appears. Because honestly, nobody else is going to see my notes except your attorney. So I don't care what other people think. People aren't even going to see what.
See how she's got mad since I triggered her. Can y'all tell him that she's triggered?
Psychiatric doctor becomes the DID doctor. I mean, let's just be honest. We're in Arkansas.
Okay. And you know,
Facts,
the
Cozy.
other thing is, I hear you saying that you're not getting help, and I have made a lot of efforts and will continue to make efforts to help you.
No, I'm not saying that you're not trying to help me. I'm saying it doesn't, just
It
over the
doesn't
past year, it doesn't feel,
And I
don't feel
hear
like I've
you.
gotten.
I hear you.
I hear
And if
you.
you want to try to find
Placating,
someone who
condescending
can
cunt.
help you, I will support you in that process.
Oh yeah, okay, sorry. I talked over her. She said, I will help you find another doctor.
Yeah.
I will help you in that process. Condescending fucking.
No, I want you to help me, Dr. Washington.
And I do
Oh.
want to help you. I honestly do.
Did y'all hear that plea? He said, I want you to help me. You've been my doctor for a year and a half. What the bitch gotta say now?
I just have to do it within what I feel comfortable doing. And let me explain what
Oh,
that means.
that's her first reveal that she does not believe in DID. That was the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to help you, but I just have to do it in the way that I feel comfortable. That was the first time she said it without saying it. I was waiting for the gotcha moment. That was it. I didn't remember what it was because there were several things, but that was it. I have to do it in the way I feel comfortable. So that's when we knew she doesn't believe in DID.
You know, when you initially came to me, Sonia had you on 30 lorazepam.
Bitch can't even talk. I've done thrown
And
her
I
off so
Also,
bad.
Klonopin,
increased it to
not
90
lorazepam.
with the understanding that that would be temporary. I was not comfortable with what I saw last
It's
time.
okay, boss.
And I
You can
hear
listen to it at
saying
home.
Vigorous sex, but I have to.
Okay, let's rewind this because I feel like it's really important.
Also, let's point out that she doesn't even know fucking Sonia's notes because when I went to her, Sonia did not have me on lorazepam. She had me on Klonopin.
So bitch just making shit up. She wants us out of there. But have y'all noticed that she can't even say her words now since that long monologue I did? I've thrown her way the fuck off. She did not expect me to say words like DSM-5. She did not expect me to use all the words that I did or that I was consulting with my colleagues. But anyways, this part right here is really important. I think I reminded it too far. I'm so sorry. But boss, I'm coming home. So as long as Xander is in a good state of mind, I'm coming home and I'll play it. You can obviously play. You can put your headphones in, whatever you want to do.
And I
don't feel
hear
like I've
you.
got-
I hear you. And if
I
you
hear
want
you.
to try to find someone who can help you, I will support you in that process. I really want what's best for you.
No, I want you to help me, Dr. Washington.
And I do want to help you. I honestly do. I just have to do it within what I feel comfortable doing. And let me explain what that means. When you initially came to me, Sonia had you on 30 lorazepam a month. And I have increased it to 90 with the understanding that that would be temporary. I was not comfortable with
got
what
it,
I
Daft.
saw last time. And I hear you saying the vigorous sex, but I have to do what feels comfortable for me. And whenever we're prescribed...
Hold on. She's clearly uncomfortable with the term vigorous sex. I have to do what's comfortable for me. Second time that she has revealed she does not believe in DID. Anybody else catching that? She is saying it in code, but bitch, we hear you loud and clear. And everyone on this planet with dissociative states and DID heard you loud and clear.
Not to defend her. At this point, actually...
Don't even start.
No, at this point, she's not even talking about DID anymore. She's back to the fucking lorazepam shit again.
Oh yeah, she's obsessed. Obsessed. And I had already pointed out that I'm on 4 milligrams a day for the last 10 years of Klonopin. Have I asked her?
My thing is like she's basically dismissed our whole conversation about DID.
Oh yeah,
and
good
it's just
point.
gone right back to talking about fucking.
I didn't even catch that. Because she said, I want to treat the symptoms. Remember when she said that a while ago? So that's why, you're right. She wants to get off DID altogether.
Yes.
And talk about other shit. It's about the meds that she doesn't buy right. You're treating patients and need to make them comfortable, not yourself. Right? Daft! What doctor says I have to be comfortable?
But no, when she's saying what I'm comfortable with is what she's meaning by that is what the benzos again, what she's comfortable prescribing. Because no, my point is...
I think it's both.
No. Because it's the fact that she's already dismissed our discussion about DID entirely and went back to why I'm in there today, and that's about the benzos and her comfort level with the benzos.
Yeah,
so
why she made an
dismissed.
agoraphobic person come into the office because she thought you were abusing your pills. She's a fucking piece of shit.
Yes, she's reverted back to that conversation, and that's what she's talking about when she said what I'm comfortable with.
Whatever, she's skipping over DID.
That's
okay.
my point.
Yeah.
She
okay.
skipped over it.
Everybody that has just joined, we are making this right now. It's not necessarily a please chat. Please chat. We're not saying don't chat. But we are making this as a record because we feel that we have an ethical and moral obligation to share with the mental health community what you're going to face with these non-believing ass quack fucking doctors in most of America. And it's outrageous, and we have the proof. And we are doing this for the record. So we wanted to do it while it was fresh, while it just happened. And it's not just about the recording, it's about everything that we've said prior to this. So please go back and watch this VOD. If you are at all, and break down this bitch some more. If you got more thoughts, add to it. Because I was absolutely so triggered, but I had to remember I was not there for me. I was there for him. And so I did not go off like I normally would, but I did push back a lot, as you can hear. And when DeGarrett comes out, a lot more talking from him. He literally was like shaking and freaking out and going like this, and all of a sudden he was like, oh yeah. I mean, like, came out that quick and just totally relaxed his whole, it was, and I said, oh hey, yeah, that's coming up.
Benzo, a controlled substance, it is part of our duty to see you in person, to be able to see you in person. And to be perfectly honest, as great as telemedicine...
Okay, so I accidentally fast forwarded it. I don't even know where we were.
You visibly appear to be. And that's another benefit
Okay. She's talking about telemed again. Okay, and why? Because and she said it again that it's a controlled substance. Like we don't fucking know that we're taking a controlled substance or an addictive fucking medicine. Like what the fuck? Like this.
You know, that's enough. I've never seen someone have that kind of a reaction to vigorous sex, but mine.
Okay, wait. Did y'all catch that? So we explained to her that the reason he was so fucking laid back and relaxed on the last visit, telemed, was because we had just got done having sex, and I said vigorous because I wanted her to understand it was a long session. That's all I was saying. I didn't mean like vigorous. I meant it was long, and he was relaxed, honey. And she literally is clearly uncomfortable with sex talk. Clearly, she's got some repressed issues because she says, I've never had someone have that reaction to vigorous sex. I hear what you're saying, but I've never had anyone. And I wish we both said, we wish we would have said something like, that sucks for you, bitch. Or, sorry, that sucks. But you don't know what a good sesh does for you. No, she's not getting railed properly then. Exactly. She's never been fucked right. But anyways, whatever. I'm just saying, I put all my partners to sleep. It's true. He usually falls straight asleep. Okay, back to the shit show.
If that's what happens, then that will help you calm down. So we found some things that can help you calm down. So
Hold on a minute.
Hold on, did you just prescribe more
Prescribe!
sex?
She just prescribed sex. We found something to help you calm down.
Great, so now all I just need to do
Is fuck all the
is
time.
get fucked while I'm riding in a car. Or, you know, when I
Trying to go to Walmart. Just
Hold
like-
on, honey, I need to throw you up over the fucking produce real quick.
I'll rewind it. Hold on, I won't go back very far. Oh, that was too far. God damn it, it keeps trying to skip 45 seconds.
I never said that.
Okay. I take your word for it. That's what it feels like.
I never
The
said
word
that.
overly medicated.
Okay, no, I've skipped forward. My
Yeah.
bad. My
Yeah,
bad.
that was after you called it.
Okay.
Perfectly fine with doing that. I just think it's fair to know that up front.
I'm not always there. I work. Like I miss work.
She's not always.
But
Of
just
course.
still too far.
Okay. I went too far. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry.
I have to do what feels
There
comfortable
we go.
for me. And whenever we're prescribing a benzo, you know, a controlled substance,
This
it
bitch tried to
is
break out into bars.
part of
Benzo
our
in the bins.
duty to see you in person, to be able to see you in person, and to be.
I'm sorry,
perfectly
Cozy. If
honest,
this is
as great
triggering and you need to
as
step away, we
telemedicine
understand.
is, as much
It was
access
very
as it
triggering for
provides us,
him.
There are
The system.
limitations. I don't have a problem with you being here, ma'am, at all.
Ma'am.
I think it's important to let me know when I'm talking to someone virtually if there is someone else there. I think that's.
We're getting a lecture about how I've been present at his telemed appointments.
Yeah. And
So-
how it's not fair for her to
It's
not
not
know
fair.
someone else is there.
So, see, do y'all hear any type of help or concern for the patient, or a lot of trying to cover her ass? What do you hear? Or are we being unreasonable? Are we being unfair to Dr. X? Are we? Or do y'all hear her being extremely fucking condescending, dismissive, and gaslighting? And covering her own ass?
That's really important to know because I think that's fair to know. Because I know if I'm
I
asking,
think
it
that's
may
fair
be
to
different
know.
for you.
I think that's fair to know. See how she talks? She tries to talk in fucking riddles, but you can't con a con, bitch, and Micah Qualls is here. You can't con a con. And I hope she finds this fucking video on the internet, on God and everything. And the hood. See, you didn't know who you were dealing with, did you?
If I'm asking someone if they are suicidal, they are taking into account the people who are around them. So in our training, it's really important, and I'm doing a disservice for you if I ask you a question and don't take into account the people around you.
Oh, we should have asked her right then. So when you don't take into account the people in my head,
Yeah.
or in my system, you're doing me a disservice. Cool. I'm glad you admitted that. Fucking whore.
No, it's never been like the whole reason that
She is, Artie.
that normally I have her present is because
Absolutely,
I'm not
Artie.
very good at advocating for myself,
Yes.
and there's a lot of times like something might have happened that I need to mention that I just forget to mention, and she's there to remind
Sure,
me.
but
you
sure,
need to bring this up.
be in the frame or tell me, hey, my girlfriend's here. I mean, we can have a group visit. I'm perfectly fine with doing that. I just think it's fair to know that up front.
Now I'm a communications person. Did y'all notice her tone getting louder and tougher? She's getting triggered.
I'm not always there. I work. Like, I miss work.
She's not always there.
Of
Just
course.
sometimes.
Oh, sorry,
I
sorry,
miss
Lucy.
work for
I'm
this.
sorry, Lucy.
But so let's go back to the benzos. All right. What is the most addictive benzodiazepine? It's not lorazepam, and you know that.
Hold on, wait a minute. Does anybody have a Band-Aid for that sick-ass burn? Did y'all catch that? I said, what is the most addictive benzodiazepine?
And her response was,
And I said, it's not lorazepam, and you know it. I'm on the most addictive, Klonopin. It's actually the most addictive. Look it up. I'm not lying. Lorazepam
I
is...
wish we would have had video for that part, because that was literally her response. She goes, what's the most addictive benzo? And she just goes, like lights went out for a second.
Right. So, Cozy, in fairness, we did steamroll her. But she had it coming. 1.5 years, and you don't believe in DID? 1.5 years. 18 months he sees you once a month, sometimes more. And you don't believe in DID? So yeah, we steamrolled her ass. I came in there with a fucking pantsuit on, some badass earrings, talking about my colleagues and shit. I had this shit planned out, everything I was gonna say. And the way I reacted was depending on her and how she dismissed me or acted. Because if she got crazy, I was finna get crazy too. Don't get crazy. No, you can't con. This is what I do. I'm a communications expert by education.
I'm getting a sense that this is confrontational.
We are 13 minutes and 23 seconds into this meeting, and she says, I'm getting the sense that this is confrontational. And now, I wish I would have said, duh, bitch! You think he brought the big guns so we could just have a nice chat with a cup of tea, bitch? Hold on. She said, I'm getting the sense this is confrontational.
Yeah, because you brought a fucking agoraphobic into a place that they're not fucking comfortable. Of course you're going to get confronted as to why.
I mean, he needed a ride off top. He can't drive. I mean, he can physically drive. He can't mentally drive. But it doesn't matter. Cozy, you're exactly right, but she had it coming. I'm sorry. And at the end of the day, Cozy, this has fucked up his Social Security claim. He's dead in the water right now. And has to basically start over with new doctors. Which is not going to hold the weight of the one that's been with him for 1.5 years.
What is your point? What is your point?
I
in
am
asking
very
that question?
offended that he's been accused of being like some sort of drug abuser.
Nobody said that. I
'Cause
never
was-
said that.
Okay.
Did y'all hear that tone? Nobody said that. She is so bent right now. I said, I'm very offended that you are saying he's a drug abuser. Nobody said that. I'm sorry, what does overly medicated mean? What does you need to come in here and see me? I need to put eyes on you because I think you're abusing your medication. What else does that mean? Drug abuser. Does anybody have another definition for what that means? I've never heard anybody be that sedated from sex. You were really sedated. What the fuck else does it mean? She's calling him a drug addict. She's calling him a drug abuser, which is the word. I didn't say addict. I said drug abuser. Because that's what she's fucking calling him. I never said that.
Okay. I take your word for it. That's what it feels like.
I never said
The
that.
word overly medicated.
Overly medicated is a descriptive term that describes what I saw. Your eye.
Also, she got some bass in her voice all of a sudden. Did y'all hear that? Overly medicated is a term. Bitch, it's not a medical term. Is that in the DSM-5? But you know what is in the DSM-5? DID. Continue.
Eyes were kind of like this.
Your eyes
When
were
you were talking, it was like this. You fumbled with, you visibly appeared to be. And that's another bit.
Okay. Question for my systems and knowers of systems. Have you ever seen your system zone out, eyes kind of rolling around? Is it possible he could have been dissociative? Is it possible it wasn't just the sex that had him relaxed? Is it possible he could have had something going on inside that was making his eyes do that? You dumb fucking cunt. Dissociative people do a lot of shit with their eyes. And it can be nothing. It could be a conversation going on inside that he's trying to ignore, but his eyes tell the truth. My people and my systems know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. But this bitch is just automatically assuming he had not had a lorazepam that day, or, like I said earlier, he wouldn't have been able to perform. To be blunt, he could not get his penis hard with the lorazepams, which most people can't. I can't come with, if I'm on a bunch of Klonopin. But her intelligence is being put into question at this point, which is the point, right? She's prescribing meds and should know some of this. Of course she feels like it's personal, because it is. It's about you, Miss Doctor. Facts. She's definitely on the defense at this point, which is, I think, also why Garrett might have switched.
No, Garrett switched out just because it's like, this bitch is never gonna help us, and she's
I
danger.
thought it's because I had pushed her too far.
No.
Okay. Because I could have went further. Oh, I could have went further.
Benefit for coming in person. That's enough. I've never seen someone have that kind of a reaction to vigorous sex, but if that's what happens, then that will help you calm down. So we found some things that can help
Wait, did
you
it go
calm
back?
down. So that's great,
Go have sex!
So
Maybe we went back kind of far.
What I feel comfortable with, and my duty in protecting my patient,
You're
I'm
so
not
protective. I
doing
feel so safe with
any
you.
service. I'm doing you a disservice by just piling medications on, and I'm sure there are people who are very happy to do that out there. But I want to treat the individual, okay? And to me,
Was that a slight to me?
I do not feel that dose is
Keep fucking and you don't need
is
meds.
changing anything. You're still at home, still have a heart.
That's my problem.
So why are we? Yeah. Still have it. So what are we doing?
It is the only thing that can get him out of the house, though.
Okay, but he didn't want to come out of the house for this meeting, right? It's the only.
So
thing
it's a
that can get him
meeting.
out of
It's
the
not a
house,
clinical
but
doctor's visit.
He doesn't want to come out of the house.
Did you hear me laugh? Because I got triggered.
Let's be real. If you want to be confrontational, let's talk real.
I do agree with that.
Did she get bass and a black accent? I think
So-
she did.
Are you sleeping, sir? Are you getting enough rest?
Are you sleeping, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Are you having suicidal thoughts?
You want me to skip this part?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Do you feel like you will act on them?
That's hard to say because I almost did, but I haven't. So I really. Can't
I really
say
thought
yes
you
or
were going
no
to say
on
yes,
that.
and she was
Are
going
you
to put
having
you in a
nightmares?
hospital.
Not that I can remember.
Do you feel like prazosin is something that can
So
help,
she
that
wants to
helps with
move off of
nightmares?
everything we've been talking about and go right back to all of his meds.
I don't know. I can't really say yes or no either way because there have
Seems
been
like
some
she's
nice
the
parts I've
dissociative
gotten
one.
to taking it, take
wait
it,
for it.
and I haven't seen like much of a difference in my sleep with or without it.
Okay. Because I don't want you on something if you don't need to be on it. So if like 3 prazosin is no different from 0,
She's definitely
then,
gotten a little
you
bit
know.
ghetto.
And
Oh, she got ghetto in her voice
Yeah,
because
I haven't
she
seen a
realized I
difference
was.
between when I take
I was
it.
trying not to let her see it,
is
but
the
I think I,
hydroxyzine helping at all?
when I went like this, she
No.
figured out that I was not
So-
the one.
So if the prazosin and the hydroxyzine are not helping, then
At this point,
Is
I'm kind of
the
zoning out and
effects
going,
or
what the fuck am I
something
going to do with this
that's
bitch?
effective for you in treating
She is
anxiety and
just-
depression.
It's helping with my. It helps with my depression and not having.
Thank you,
panic
Cozy.
attacks,
Because
Okay.
but
my
it doesn't
notes,
do anything for my anxiety.
hold on.
Okay.
That is such a good point, Cozy. Because you should have seen my bullet points. My bullet points were like, so are you scared of misdiagnosing patients? Like all of them? Are you just going to put what the last doctor had written down? Like, are you afraid of what you're, like, I mean, I had, are you aware of the changes coming out in the new DSM-6? How many medical conferences have you attended in the last 5 years? What professional organizations do you belong to? Oh, I had like the nuclear option laid out for me if she went there. So yes, Cozy, yeah, let's get real. Let's start over, and I'll give you what I would have gave you if you would have got fucking crazy. Don't get crazy. Welcome to King Burger, where you can have it your way, but don't get crazy. Okay.
Are you taking 2 of those a day?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. How about hearing things or seeing things? Because if you had a psychotic break, then being
Okay, this part made me so mad. Are you hearing things and seeing things? If she believed in DID, would she ask him that question?
Which also I want to point out, this is actually she's asked me that question probably
Every time.
Yeah, if not every time, at least 75% of our visits, she's asked me if I hear things, and I told her every time the same fucking answer. The alters.
I hear them having conversations all day. They annoy the fuck out of me sometimes, especially when I'm trying to sleep. But when she asked him, does he hear or see things, blah, 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 it was what she said right after that. I forgot my point. Oh, well.
psychotic.
Oh, my point was, those are questions for people that have schizophrenia. So are you misdiagnosing him?
No, let it keep playing because
All right.
that comes
I
into
mean,
play.
all the things that I hear are all have to do, you know, with my DID.
Okay.
You know, I hear the other alters talking all the time.
Is it distressing or is it comforting or?
It's comforting.
You know why she asked that? That's a schizophrenia question. Because people that hear voices in schizophrenia, they're usually telling them to do bad things or telling them they're shitty. So that's why she asked him, is it distressing or is it comfortable? You don't believe in DID. You have proven it from the moment we sat down in this fucking office. Actually, you proved it in the hallway.
Like I said, let it keep going because
I mean,
schizophrenia
the
comes
only
up.
times it gets annoying is when I'm trying to sleep and they're talking. But
Have you been on Seroquel or Zyprexa? I think you were on Seroquel at one
yeah, I've
point.
been on Seroquel before, but I
No
mean,
check.
all it does is make me a
You
zombie.
prescribed me
Yeah.
Seroquel.
Yeah.
I know.
You know
Been on a
that I'm
low
on
dose.
Seroquel.
Are you on Seroquel? Because I don't really pay attention to my
Sleep
patients.
for 24 hours.
We can't have that.
I call them the horse pills. The tranquilizers.
Right.
I should have said, bitch, my doctor had me on 350 milligrams of that shit. You are scared of pills. Clearly.
Right. Do you fall asleep and stay asleep even without the prazosin? Like, do you need some trazodone for sleep or?
No, like
Hold on. Trazodone. She's willing to give that out?
generally, like when I start to feel sleepy, I'll go to sleep. You know, I might wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or something, but other than that, I stay asleep.
What I hear is she wants him to be on antipsychotic zombie pills that make him have no personality and sleep all the time. That's what I'm hearing. Anything but a benzo, a controlled substance, you're over medicating, you're abusing But I'll give you these antipsychotic schizophrenia pills that make you like this and drool. Medical malpractice. And if you've been on an antipsychotic like Risperdal, which gets brought up, if you've been on any of those pills, especially Seroquel, you know they're tranquilizers. Period. Point blank. She'll give you those all day. They'll kill you. If I took, okay, I'm gonna get real, because this is how important this is, and this is why we're making this video right now, for the record. During COVID, my husband had left me. We were on the lockdown. I was alone. I had a Seroquel prescription. I built up and built up because all I wanted to do was sleep. I was highly, highly ill because my husband of 12 years had left me just high and dry the first week of the COVID lockdown. I took 7 to 10, I can't remember the exact amount because those days are very foggy, Seroquel. And I peed myself in the bed. And I was so ill and so medicated that I just put a towel down and rolled over to the other side of the bed for like a month. So basically, I had an overdose when I peed myself, clearly when I was asleep, right? I basically had a mild overdose. But the point I'm making is, those types of pills, here, have all of those. Have those. You can have all those you want, but benzos, no. We're not doing that. It doesn't make me comfortable. Isn't that what she said?
Yep.
She.
Also, the fact that she can't remember the fact that she prescribes me fucking Seroquel.
You been on Seroquel? I don't know, bitch. Look at your own records.
He sleep talks really bad. Like the biggest person I've ever known to sleep talk. So I don't think he would ever be a candidate for Ambien. I just want to throw that out there. I think he'd be a walker and a
Not the thing.
cleaning the kitchen on Ambien kind of person.
So now I've decided to back off for a little bit and let her get comfortable so I can... These are... I'm
take Ambien.
consciously
I
doing
could-
this.
I had, sadly...
Oh,
worse.
switch, incoming
Anyway,
switch, I'm pretty sure. Is this about where Garrett came out?
Nope.
just because I'm type A.
Maybe.
And
I
shut
don't
that
know.
brain off.
Y'all hear me say it's because I'm type A. That was my
So
way of
what are
saying
some of
don't
the
fuck with
times
me.
that you do leave the house? Like, are there times that you just like have to, and then you find yourself like,
There's really honestly, I don't.
Patient for a year and a half, and she's asking him, do you leave the house sometimes? Isn't that something she should have asked him, I don't know, 6 months ago, 8 months ago?
She has asked.
Well, then why is she asking again? She knows the
The
fucking
same
answer.
reason she doesn't know that she's prescribed me Seroquel.
don't leave
Gregory.
the house unless I have to.
okay,
Like, there's no other option, and it's basically like I am right now. I'm shaky. I'm scared of every damn thing.
He kept telling me the receptionists were looking at him, and I said, no, they're not looking over here.
Yeah, I think I was telling her, it's like they're
Exactly,
looking at me,
Cozy.
judging me, and they're
No,
ready
no,
to lock me
no,
up
no.
somewhere.
Yeah,
No.
I told him.
no, that's good. It's
Oh,
good to have.
no.
But
Talking
the
to him like a
car-
baby.
the
She
car
does that all the
thing is-
time. I
this is
hate
stuff
that.
he's working on with Dr. Scotty, and we know you're the medicine person and not the therapist. But with Dr. Scotty, he has irrational fears. So with driving, it's a tree's gonna fall on the car. Or the other day he said, I feel like we're gonna get a drive-by. And just to be in the car. So that it's not just car rides or driving or it's like irrational fears surrounding riding in vehicles.
Hey, thank you, Cozy. Okay, so I'm sitting there giving her information. This actually, I was just thinking this is exactly why he brought me, to fill in the gaps of the things he has not implicitly stated to her. Like he'll say, this is, okay, I'm not throwing you under the bus, babe, but this is why there's been a problem. He'll say, I still have really a lot of anxiety. And he'll leave it at that. He doesn't get specific. And that's conflict avoidant, dissociative fight or flight response to someone you don't feel safe with. Like we discovered that today, right? And so I was there to fill in the blanks so she could understand. It's not that he can't get in the car. It's that he literally has irrational fears like drive-bys. Like it's not. And I even ceded, you are the medication doctor, you're not his therapist. However, The 15 minutes is not just to say, how's your dosage? Let's up it. Bye. It's like you have to have context in psychiatry to prescribe. But as we know, she's not a real smart cookie because she prescribed more sex. Did y'all know that sex will cure you of DID? Which she doesn't believe in anyway, so that makes sense. Oh man, I lost our spot.
Really important, and I'm doing a disservice.
Shit's locked up.
Extended describes person, that's enough. So, yeah. So I'm doing what I feel comfortable with in my duty in protect, but I want.
That's my problem.
So why are we at the house? Are you
Because
something that can help?
Garrett hasn't come out yet.
Oh, you're not even listening.
No. Okay. So, hearing things or seeing things, is it distress?
I've been on Sarah.
Call them the horse pills.
Like when I start to feel,
If you would ever, I take.
and it's basically like I am right now.
That's good.
That's good.
But the car thing is or surround.
And they didn't have a generic.
No,
for it
it's
yet.
not new.
Okay.
It's a very strong antipsychotic, and I use it for schizophrenia patients and other things, and so no, I would be against that. My personal opinion.
I don't know if it helps anxiety.
Misty,
I'll
I
get
am
it.
been so mad.
Yeah.
But it's a zombie. It's one of them zombie medications. I'm just.
Oh,
Don't want a
she
zombie
threw out
attack.
Risperdal, and I was like, no.
Like dosing, and so I don't want you to be be zombied out at all. But I'm trying to look and see if we can get maybe add a low dose of an antipsychotic medication.
So she wants to put him
might
on
help
zombie
with maybe
pills.
The irrational fears and kind of obsessive thinking about that. Like maybe a low dose.
Really though.
Yeah, like a really low dose of Zyprexa, for example.
And sex.
Yeah. Just
Right, Misty?
Something like that. I hate that Seroquel.
Wait till she
is
calls me
steady,
honey.
Even on small, we don't want that. I wonder if
No, she's right. If she can, an antipsychotic might, a low dose might help you with the rational, the paranoia.
Right, Joey.
Yeah. Do you remember which antipsychotic you were on in the hospital? Because we don't want to reinvent the wheel if something.
No, I've never been on an antipsychotic before.
Well, except for Seroquel, because that's
Except for Seroquel,
yeah. Yeah, especially if feeling like people are looking at you and talking about you, and we don't want that.
That was because of intense
I can
anxiety.
Go in there and
Listen.
pull out a sample of one that's definitely not sedating at all. But I kind of like Zyprexa because it kind of has this kind of calming effect also.
This is when you switch because
Maybe
you
kinda
just
help
realize
you
this is going
sleep
nowhere.
and kind of could work well.
Well, I
with
feel
the
like it
effects
is.
there.
Look,
I
you're
just
listening
wanna
to it.
Get you a good combination of medication.
We haven't. She hasn't
I
addressed
feel
any of our
I don't
concerns.
want you super sedated, but I feel like the antipsychotics. There's some that don't make you sleepy at all, and some that can make you just a little tiny, or some that can heavily make you
Zyprexa.
sleepy. So I feel like the ones that
With a
lean
P, yeah.
toward the kind of calm you down might be beneficial.
And sex.
And
Don't forget
that's-
the vigorous
that's-
sex.
It's hard. It's a hard line, Dr. Washington, because he is a chill person.
Yeah.
And that's
This is
why
the
he doesn't
switch.
communicate.
This is
I'm
where I
not
switch.
throwing you under the
Because I
bus. We
remember
already
the
talked
last
about
time
this. I
you
said
here,
I'm not
you
going to throw
said
you
I'm
under the
a chill
bus.
person.
But he doesn't bring stuff up because he's not detail oriented. He's not. He just thinks
We know,
this is
Joey.
something he has to answer ABC questions. He doesn't go in
Yeah,
to explain
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't think that you knew that his DID is brand new out the gate, almost May of 2021.
Receipts,
Right.
specifics.
Something like that.
Garrett's here. Just why did you come out?
Because I was having a rough time.
Yeah.
So this bitch called the switch. She's real safe.
Well, leave us know.
Yeah. Have you been listening?
Right?
Okay. So you know everything's going on and you're...
It's part of my job.
Yeah, alright.
So he just had a switch and she's still typing into her computer.
Do you want to try the low dose of Zyprexa as well?
And has not acknowledged that he's an alter present. Dude, I did not realize how fucking
I think-
she did that.
Honestly, he just takes the antidepressant and the lorazepam for emergencies or as needed. And that maybe is up. What do you think? Because all them other pills up on the mantle, he doesn't really take.
I don't know. He does take them regularly. I don't do shite anyway.
Yeah.
What was that?
Oh, the
Sorry,
the
he's-
pills when he
he's-
takes them, they don't really work.
Garrett's Irish.
Oh,
So.
okay.
Hold on.
He's the
Did y'all hear that? I said Garrett's Irish and she said, oh, okay. Did y'all hear it? You cannot make this shit up. She is literally typing when an alter, like, why did she not stop what she was doing and say, hello, Garrett, acknowledge his presence, or at least say, are you okay? Because usually when alters switch, it's because of what? Audience, school, classroom, triggers. Alters get pulled out because of what school? Triggers. She didn't even stop what she was doing to look at his safety. Oh, God, y'all. Ooh, the more I think about this. That's why we're putting it out on the internet forever.
And he's been around the longest that we're aware of.
I'm trying to tell her a history of Garrett because I think it's relevant. She's not listening to me. I just realized
right
it.
now, so I can give him his sandwich that I promised him. I had to bribe him with a sandwich to get to this appointment.
That was my way of saying, you know,
You're right.
that's why you just
I'm
switched,
just
right?
teasing.
The anxiety, bitch. Had to bribe him with a sandwich.
All right, let's add a low dose of Zyprexa, just like I'll give you a 5 mil.
Okay, an alter has just entered a psychiatric session. She continues typing. I'm continuing to give her information about the alter. Maybe I self-consciously wanted her to acknowledge your alter. She never does. She never did. She kept typing and then she goes, okay, so we're going to go and get the Zyprexa and vigorous sex. Don't forget that. No, Cozy, I want his lawyer to get the records from today's meeting because I want to know what she fucking said about me. I bet it says GF, as in girlfriend. Girlfriend is a know-it-all bitch. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. She may not have written that. She may not have won a record that I was there because I could be called in as a witness in your Social Security.
Milligram pill. Start by taking 1/2 at bedtime. And if you're not having
Oh, she didn't even blink. She doesn't believe in DID so hard. Think about this for a second. You back me up. She does not believe in DID so hard that she continued to discuss medications with one of your alters.
Yeah.
Let's think about that for a second. What if it was a little? Can a little consent to your medications that you need? She's continuing to discuss medications with an alter. Now, yes, it was Garrett. It was the gatekeeper. That's a perfectly acceptable person to represent the system. He's an adult. He's been around. And I'm literally saying those things, as you can hear in the audio. I'm saying, yeah, he's the oldest as far as we know, and blah, 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 which technically wasn't true. But I didn't want to go into the fucking cast. I didn't want to go into all that shit. She obviously doesn't believe in DID at this point. But it did not hit me the extent of it until I'm re-listening to this shit. Because in the moment, we're all nervous, right? You know? You were obviously nervous because you switched. But, like, now that I'm reviewing this shit, she just kept talking to an alter about the medication. Didn't ask any questions about the alter or even acknowledge him or call him by his name or say hello. She didn't even say hello. I said, Garrett's from Ireland. And she went, okay. Again, I think Cozy said it the best. She's not listening. She's trying to get through the appointment. I finally see it now.
Oh, no, she points that out too. She's like, "Look, I've already given you more time."
Yeah.
than
So she
what
says
you're supposed to
time's
be
up,
doing."
which I was ready for. I knew was about to happen because I hit her with this one-liner that y'all are gonna love.
Problems with it, you can take a whole one at bedtime. But if a whole one's too sedating, then take half.
Listen,
Did you hear that?
I said, did you hear that?
All right.
Because it's an altar.
I'm here for the remembering.
I said, I'm here for the
Yeah,
remembering.
I know they do, Garrett.
Because Garrett's not the host.
Was there anything else that the system or Sander wanted to address?
Yeah. So I addressed Garrett like I should and said, is there anything else that the system would like to address or anything that Xander wanted to address? Because this bitch still has not acknowledged his presence.
I mean, the only thing, the other concern that we were worried about is how to put this. Like, what would the process be to start working towards getting our diagnosis so that we're not mislabeled as schizophrenic?
Oh, that's not my diagnosis for you. That's not my diagnosis for you at all.
Unpack that shit. She is 100% jumping to tell him that is not my diagnosis. No. So she 100% understands, believes in, and supports schizophrenia. But what does she not know how she... Oh. She was quick on that answer. No, that's not my diagnosis for you. So this is where I get a little bitchy again.
Schizophrenic, meaning.
Right, that's what I was saying. Well, like, where do we go? Like, what do we do to start the process of getting a diagnosis of having DID so we don't get mislabeled?
He doesn't want to be
Sadly,
mislabeled.
as we know, since we want to run our Twitch stream and we've met systems from all over the world and helped them for the past year and a half as you've gone down this journey with Ernie and the rest of the system, we know that most of them don't get their diagnoses and they have to fight for them, and they still know that they're systems. So you don't need the label. However, it would definitely make you feel validated. Is that what you're trying to say?
Right.
And also, like, help a lot with getting some type of independence with your Social Security since you can't work.
Right.
Now, I know that, and Dr. Washington also knows that they cannot help with Social Security. They just turn over records. Like, I didn't know I don't want you to have, like, an expectation there.
It's not an expectation. It's just a question on what the steps are.
So
There are
I was talking to Garrett. That was a new tactic I chose because I thought she was listening. And I was trying to get him to... I didn't want to talk directly to her anymore, like, in that moment. I thought, if it looks like I'm talking to him and he's advocating for himself, then she'll hear it. Because I realized that she wasn't really listening to me. So that's why I'm like, is that what you're trying to say? You see what I'm saying? And that was my way of her to fucking try to get her fucking attention.
no tests for DID, just so you know. It's basically up to her opinion. So if she doesn't believe...
It's also a way for me to talk to Garrett without directly addressing her, but she knows I know information. Like I just pointed out, there's no psychological testing for DID. But I was talking to Garrett, you see? It was a tactic that I tried.
Even DID, kind of need to know that. Do you understand? Because it's based on her observations. She's been your doctor for a year and a half. Yeah. Now, on Xander's fault and Ernie's fault, y'all don't talk to her often about your DID. You just talk to her about medication.
Yeah. And
Well,
so I think in order, and we can have a group meeting with all of y'all, in order to make sure that there is no conflict between me and y'all,
This
just
is
to
where
make
Garrett's
clear,
about to
my
shut it all down.
position is going to be focusing on getting you better, not diagnosis. And that way, I'm not compromising my beliefs, and at the same time, I'm not compromising yours.
There it
That
is.
way, I'm not compromising my beliefs. Is when Garrett's like, and we're done now.
But she said, we can have a group meeting, but I want to focus on treating the symptoms.
Yep.
Uh,
And not giving
let me-
you any type of diagnosis.
Right. She literally said, "I'm not focusing on diagnoses."
No, she literally said, I'm not going to give you a diagnosis.
Yeah, no, she flat out said it. Hold on, let's rewind it. I can just go back 15.
I think in order, and
Listen to her
we can
again.
have a group meeting with all of y'all. In order to make sure that there is no conflict between me and y'all, just to make clear, my position is going to be focusing on getting you better, not diagnosis. And that way, I'm not
You hear me say,
compromising my beliefs, and at the same time, I'm not compromising yours. If you don't feel
So, DID is a belief now.
Yeah.
And you wish it on yourself, right? You love having DID, right? It's
Mhm.
awesome. DID is cool. It makes life so simple. This fucking bitch said my beliefs and your beliefs as if it's up for debate. The DSM-5 and the psychological community has determined that DID is not up for debate. It's a real ass illness. It's been an illness when it was called multiple personality disorder, and they changed it in 1995. I don't even know if this bitch was born then.
1994.
Whatever. They changed it to dissociative identity disorder. So, bitch, it's not a belief. Ho, we're not debating whether steaks should be medium rare or well done. We're talking about people's lives. It's not a belief. And this is when Garrett starts trying to agree with her and get out of there, but I'm pissed. Because you hear me say, because that was the moment I knew. That's the moment she knew she fucked up too, because I started standing up and shit. I said it was the sun in my eyes, but I was trying to get a dominant position. Did you know that was a tactic?
don't feel comfortable with this, all of y'all, and y'all might want to get together and talk about it. I'm happy to work toward getting you to somebody who might, because I know that there
Who
might
might?
be someone, you know.
There
I
may
want
be
what's
someone.
best for y'all. I really do. But as for me, I'm going to treat your symptoms and pray that you get well, and pray that, you know, it whatever works out in the legal system does.
Dude! A medical psychiatrist, MD, motherfucking educated, practicing licensed psychiatrist just said, I'm not going to help you, but I will treat your symptoms, and I can only pray for you. So have vigorous sex, and I'll pray for you. And here's an antipsychotic zombie pill. I gotta back it up, because this is just, you just can't.
Getting you better.
Focus on getting you better.
Diagnosis.
Okay, so does she mean integration?
No, she literally just means, like, treat my anxiety, depression, insomnia.
I finna say, because she don't believe in DID, so I know she didn't mean integration.
And Ernie's
No.
fault. Y'all don't talk to her often about your DID. You just talk to her about medication.
Yeah. And
Well,
so
let's
I think in order, and we can have a group meeting with all of y'all.
I had to
in
replay it
order
again. I'm
to
sorry.
make sure that there is no conflict.
'Cause this is where she
between
fucked
me
up.
And y'all. Just to make clear, my position is going to be focusing.
I'm making it
on
clear that I
getting
do not
better,
believe in DID.
not diagnosis.
Not
And that
diagnosis.
way, I'm not compromising my beliefs, and at the same time, I'm not compromising yours. If y'all don't feel comfortable with this, all of y'all, and y'all might want to get together and talk about it.
Definitely don't feel comfortable.
I'm happy to work toward getting you to somebody who might.
Might.
Because I know that there might be someone, you know. I'm
Even her
always-
saying she's trying to help, offering to find him another psychiatrist, she's still dismissing his disease or his disorder, however you prefer the language. She is still dismissing him. I'll try to get you to someone that might diagnose you, because she does not believe in DID at all. That's why she says might. Because if you don't believe that it exists, then how could another doctor, another psychiatrist?
For y'all,
Oh, yeah, I know.
I really do.
Cozy, I know.
But as for me, I'm going to treat your symptoms.
Symptoms.
And pray that you get well.
Pray.
And pray that, whatever works out in the legal system does. Because
I'm going to pray that it works out for you.
It can
Thoughts
without
and prayers.
that diagnosis or with that diagnosis. I'm focusing on symptoms and getting you better.
The stuff that he doesn't share. Like when he found out about Garrett and his system, he also found out about his childhood traumas, a lot of them, which is stuff he's working out with Dr. Scotty.
Okay.
So it says PTSD. It doesn't. I mean, I know complex PTSD is not a DSM diagnosis, but at the end of the day, you have to mark down diagnoses or insurance won't pay. So you do diagnose.
And I have his diagnosis as PTSD and major depressive
Yes,
disorder.
we're aware of what the records say,
So-
but it's just it's. I heard you loud and clear, and we do.
I said, we know what the record says. Yeah, Irish, you're just gonna have to go back and watch the VOD, bro. It's bad. It's bad. Just go with it, bro.
Have some considerations going forward. However, it would be nice to stay and not have to change, and to work this out.
By the way, this is my last ditch attempt to get her to help him with his fucking Social Security claim. That's why I started bringing up CPTSD. If she's not going to give him a DID diagnosis, she could at least exaggerate all that shit for him. Like, this is my code language, since she likes to talk in code. This is my way of saying, can you not, like, add some shit? You keep saying I'm going to pray. No, there's something you can do. You can put the right shit down in his fucking records so he can have some goddamn independence and stop being more depressed because he doesn't have independence. Like, you are a fucking piece of dog shit. A year and a half she has been seeing him, and a year and a half she never believed in DID. That is unethical, it is gross misconduct, and it's disgusting.
Or I just think it's better not to start all over again.
Of course.
I mean,
for him.
of course, honey.
But then again, many people have advised that it should stop at your beliefs, and that's the nicest way. I'm sorry, the sun's in my eye. That's the nicest way of I'm light sensitive. That's the nicest way of saying, like, I was told that if you waver whatsoever on the question, do you believe in DID, that the answer is no.
Yeah. So, again, I mean, the judge isn't asking me if I believe in it. The judge isn't, and this doesn't even guarantee that you don't get disability.
Well, the lawyer said that Dr. Scotty means nothing compared to yours.
Right. Again, not having DID doesn't necessarily mean you don't get disability,
Okay, Cozy, if you're asking me, I was coldly saying what she said, which is she didn't believe in DID. So I said many people have advised, which is a tactic you use to make it intimidate your subject, right? To make them think you've been talking to experts, right? Or you have friends in high places.
He's talking about what she's saying.
Oh, you get you. What is she saying? She is literally up against the wall now because I flat out said you don't believe in DID, and I've said without saying that you're medically malpracticing the situation, that you're harming him. So now she's trying to walk around the building 7 times with some code words to get back out of the situation and cover her ass. That's literally what's happening. While dismissing the patient who's right in front of her.
I'm not even, I mean, personally, I'm not worried about the disability. I just want...
But you are.
You system to be able to function normally.
Sure. So let's try this medication change, and let's follow up, adding the Zyprexa. We'll keep everything else
Go back
the
to the
same,
pills.
The lorazepam and the Effexor,
Is dissociation mentioned at all in his records?
I haven't reviewed reviewed the records myself personally, so I can't give you an honest assessment. But
now that you know that he is filing for Social Security, you know that there are ethical concerns surrounding that, and if you haven't been honest with him about your feelings towards DID or his dissociative states, that's kind of unethical. Now that you know, like literally, it is unethical under the rules once you know a patient has filed for disability.
Hey guys, I honestly, I didn't know you were filing for disability until you told me last time. Because I try to stay out of that. I just try to help you. And if you feel like I'm doing anything unethical, again, I will help you find someone else.
You hear her tone raise again? See, I already knew I was going to drop ethics on her because my friend advised me, my colleague advised me, that once a therapist or a psychiatrist knows you are filing for disability, they have a totally different set of ethics that they have to follow as a practitioner. And he told me that I should get her on that and mention it, because if she's known for a while that he was filing for disability and did not tell him, hey, if you're filing for disability with DID on there, I haven't diagnosed you with that. Again, let me stress, this is not a new doctor. This is not some bitch he just met. He has been with her since the beginning of his DID journey when his system first presented itself, since June of 2021. What year are we in now? 2023. This is disgusting. I cannot stress that enough.
Because one thing I'm not going to do is be your doctor and be at odds, because that's not what I want. I really, really honestly want to help you. I don't want to have a fight. I don't want to talk about, disbelief or unethical, because I'm trying to operate on an ethical scale. I'm trying to help you, So if you...
I'm trying to operate on an ethical scale. Has she mentioned ethics in this whole time? But when I bring up ethics, now she's talking about ethics. Bitch is scared as fuck, I'm telling you.
Satisfied, honey. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. It's
Honey.
easier to stay here, but if you're not...
Did you hear me go?
If you're not happy with me, I don't know if I can convince you to be happy.
Hold on, you gotta hear this,
That's
Cozy.
not what I want. I really, really honestly want to help you. I don't want to have a fight. I don't want to talk about, disbelief or unethical, because I'm trying to operate on an ethical scale. I'm trying to help you.
Hold on, I missed it.
No,
she's
about to say it. She's about to.
No. I missed that.
What?
She said, I don't want to talk to you about these beliefs are unethical or whatever.
Yeah.
She's trying to say, I get your point of view, but I'm not going to discuss whether it's unethical for me to believe in DID or not. Oh my God, I just caught it.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying send that to the fucking attorney, man.
So if you're not satisfied, honey, I mean, I don't know what
Honey.
else to tell you. It's easier to stay here, but if you're not
Did you hear me go?
happy with me, I don't know if I can convince you to be happy with me.
Well,
I do have to go ahead and end this right now. Soon, I'll be happy to listen to what you're
That's me
saying.
being pressed when I start laughing. That's me about to go off.
We did have a 15-minute appointment. And I'm
So
trying to stay.
you made an agoraphobic come up here and face you because you think he's overly medicated, was one of the reasons, and because of the telemed, whatever long-term telemed that you've been doing, you made him come up here for 15 minutes.
It was a 15. We've spent 30 minutes though. They did set a 15.
That wasn't my point,
appointment.
bitch.
I'll spend however much time, but as far as going in circles about arguing, I don't want to have a defensive stance with you.
I agree.
I'm trying. I don't want to go and. I just want to treat you, and this is the medication plan that we've.
She literally said, I said, you made an agoraphobic come up here for 15 minutes because you think he's overly medicated or something to do with telemed. And she said, it was a 15-minute appointment. Have y'all ever seen a better gaslighter than this bitch? She didn't address what I fucking said. She knew what I fucking said. She's not fucking stupid. She listens for a living. She literally gaslit me in return of a direct hit. Now just think what she's doing to patients that don't have the knowledge, wherewithal, or ability to fight back. That is why we are making this video right now, and that is why we are playing the audio in its entirety. Because if she's doing it with someone like me in the room who's not falling for her bullshit, then God, what is she doing to the patients? Thank God she's not my fucking therapist or psychiatrist. That would last one session. I can tell you that right now. But did you know that if you have vigorous sex, it'll cure your anxiety? And so will her prayers.
And then we can follow up in 2 weeks. But I really don't want to argue. I don't want to argue a point.
No,
and my prayer is that this does go through. It does, so let's...
Her prayer is that his SSA goes through. We just told you point blank, the lawyer said it's dead, we're screwed. It's dead in the water without the dissociation. And like I said, if you don't believe in DID, that's fine. You could at least put dissociation.
So let's move forward. I mean, if you have another statement you want to make, I just want to say that I'm going to go ahead
I have to refer to my notes. Go ahead. Y'all keep talking.
Yeah.
I said I have to...
I don't know. This is a you and Zonder thing. I haven't had any part of it, but I understand what the doctor said, and I understand her point of view. So,
Yeah, and
let's go with the
let's-
doctor's plan.
Yeah.
Let's follow
Oh, I'm
Honey.
not against the medication plan.
Yeah, so let's follow up. Let's follow up in a couple of weeks. Let's see. We can set a longer appointment at that time to answer any additional questions that y'all come up with. Let's see. Hopefully, I've got. Let's set a 30-minute appointment up in a couple of weeks. Let's set up.
Okay, there's only one other thing I wanted to
It can be virtual too. Yes, ma'am.
address was last month you said to him about his diagnosis that it takes a long-term clinical setting and observations and testing. We both know there's no test for DID. You can throw a CAPS-5 out. None of that tests for DID. So I feel like that was...
Yeah, so testing to rule out other diagnoses,
Right.
So
But it's been a year and a half.
Yeah, so they do, just like you do a certain test to rule out this and rule out some
Whatever.
certain testing.
What
that's
the fuck ever,
done
you
to rule
gaslighting
out
hoe.
Other diagnoses that may present in a similar fashion.
Again, she's not addressing what I said.
That's all I meant. Yeah. So if you come up with any other
Yeah.
questions, I'm really happy to answer.
Yeah,
those
so I'll
questions.
see you guys
So let's make the
later.
next appointment a little-
Condescending cunt.
Right. Preferably that'd be virtual
Yeah, it can be,
because
absolutely.
he does
It
not
can be
do well
virtual.
with it.
Yeah. It can be virtual. If you could go to that window or the front window and just tell them in a couple of weeks, 30 minutes, okay? All right. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, that's... Whew. All right, thoughts. I picked up on a lot more after I listened to it. I didn't realize Cozy was right. She was literally lots of periods of time not even listening to us.
No, she wasn't.
Oh, hey Garrett, you back again?
No.
Oh, it sounded like Garrett for a second. Yeah, you might still be blended though, because you were majorly freaking out earlier. But anyways, yeah, she's done with the convo. We've reached our time, and I literally wanted to be like, have y'all ever been in therapy and you've reached your time and there's a time limit, like they can't stay with you all day. However, this was like an emergency meeting. She made him come there. And once I showed up and started talking my shit, which y'all, that is mild compared to how I usually go in on people. I kept pushing back. But actually, now that I think about it, I was mad at myself that I did not push back further with her. And kind of treated her cunty. I was kind of mad at myself afterwards because I was like, I should have pushed back on this and I should have pushed back on that. But now that I listened to it, she wasn't listening. That would have been a waste of my spoons. That would have been a waste of energy. The only thing I would have done is came off as cunty.
Well, no, it's like I said, Garrett kept picking up on the fact that every time you did get her on a subject, she just kept redirecting to let's prescribe you this. What's this medication? Medication. She didn't
Right.
want to talk about.
And on that point, I just want to say from a communications expert standpoint, sometimes you don't say things to actually be heard. Sometimes you don't say things to actually win an argument. Sometimes you don't care how it's perceived. Sometimes you say things to plant a seed. So, for example, one time this dude had on a MAGA hat in Chili's, and my ex-husband is African American, and he felt unsafe around this person, okay, because he had a firearm and stuff like that. So I chased him out to the parking lot as he was leaving, and I let him know that, like, that hat is now a symbol of racism, and you are actually making people feel unsafe, and I just want you to consider that. Like, he's not president anymore, you know, or basically, I don't remember the circumstances, but basically I was saying, like, it's not a political rally, and you don't have to wear it in a Chili's, you know, because you actually made somebody feel unsafe, and I thought he would listen to me. But here's the deal. I wasn't trying to make him take off his MAGA hat. I wasn't trying to make him change his beliefs for Trump. I literally wanted to plant a seed, right? So a lot of what I was saying with her, it may have fallen on deaf ears, but I guarantee you she's going to go to bed tonight thinking about that visit, you know. And sometimes I say things just so the person has to lay their head down at night and go, holy fuck, somebody doesn't just agree with me. Somebody actually disagrees with me. I didn't realize that there were people out there that disagree with me. I thought I had a complete consensus because people live in silos. So she's up there at this Christian clinic in this silo full of doctors that feel the same. Hey, mama.
Yeah.
We're almost done.
Howdy, time for dinner.
Mom's here to tell us dinner's ready.
Howdy.
Right. So Cozy, she thought she had the power, then you showed up and flipped out. Right. I almost would have let her do her usual thing in combos, then hit her more. It sounds like she does more when she thinks she can get away with it. Yeah. So Cozy, like I said, I was, we'll tell her that boss said hi. But I was having some regrets over not going in harder with her, but I think I planted enough seeds. First of all, she did not see me coming. She had no idea I was coming, and I was very combative, especially in the beginning. I literally said she wasn't safe. I got out the buzzwords that will plant the seed, I think. Like, is she going to change her position on DID from our meeting today? Hell no. Is she going to put DID as Ernie the body or Xander or whoever the fuck's out diagnosis? No, she's not. But I bet I made her fucking think twice. Oh, you mean weak people, marginalized people in society, like mental health patients, have motherfuckers around them with some sense and some willingness to fight? Shit, maybe I should be more careful how I treat people. I think the biggest takeaway is her tone. And the fact that she gaslit us the entire 38 minutes. The entire 38 minutes, she redirected, gaslit, changed the subject, or said things that were just patently intellectually dishonest. And that's what is so frustrating. So I do have a regret I wasn't just a full-on cunt.
We also learned that she believes that prayer can fix things.
Yeah, prayer. Have y'all ever had a medical doctor? He literally had just said earlier in the appointment, because y'all heard the whole thing in its entirety, that he had been suicidal recently. And then she says, I pray for you. Can you imagine if he would have said, I'm suicidal, and she said it right after he said that? What's the difference? She's still the doctor. She still has the ethical and moral obligation to do better than that. Yeah, I mean, you'll have to listen to the whole thing, boss, because, like, I did go in on her a few times. Yeah. Yeah, at the very beginning, she was like, I'm going to have to talk to you in private. And I said, no, he doesn't have to do that. That's the first things out of my mouth besides my name. So I started out the gate. She knew I was not there in a compassionate capacity. Here's what. So I was talking about planting the seeds and how I hope that I planted some seeds. Like that you can't just talk to your patients this way. Because somebody like me might show up one day out of the fucking blue and school your ass about what's in the DSM-5 and mention psychological testing and things like that nature, right? With some colleagues. But anyways, the point I'm making is I'm not sure that I planted any seeds. I'm not sure that she will think twice. I think she thinks she won that. And that makes me sad. That makes me feel like an abuse victim. And I don't say that lightly. I mean that for real. Like, in real life, I would not allow anyone to gaslight me, especially a man. So, like, I'm speaking from, like, a narcissistic abuse perspective or a domestic violence and domestic abuse perspective. I would never let a man gaslight me the way she gaslighted that system, the Havoc system. I would never let someone call me honey without being checked. I would never do that. And so I feel that I did not accomplish my goal. I feel that I did my best to advocate as well as I could and to bring up things that needed to be brung up, but I don't think it matters with her.
No, it doesn't.
So is that your final analysis as well?
Yeah.
But see, it feels bad inside because I feel like I was gaslit and bowled over, and so that makes me think that I have not learned from my toxic relationships and my toxic interactions, and I just basically allowed this bitch to abuse me. I do not say that lightly. And it's not about me. I'm just trying to wrap this in a bow so we can go eat dinner, okay? And so this is out for good, and there's a record of this, and make sure you put it on YouTube, please. I want it on YouTube. That the medical malpractice is so bad in this situation because she's been his doctor for 1.5 years. And she never was ethical enough to say she doesn't believe in DID until the day that I showed up in there being a bitch. Basically is what happened. And that it's not just the gaslighting. It's not just the lying. I mean, it's not just the gaslighting and the lying and the keeping from him important things he needs to know to feel safe with her. It's all of it. She made an agoraphobic come to the office when telemed is an option. All because she was worried about him being overly medicated. The fuck, bitch? Get in the car and drive to his house. He's agoraphobic. Where is the burden of care here? He had a switch in her presence, which means he was triggered. Where is the burden of care? But the last thing I want to say, and I've said it like 65 times, I know you're probably tired of hearing it, but it needs to be said again. People claiming to be psychiatric doctors or psychologists that don't believe in shit that's in the DSM should have their license taken. Let me say that again. If you don't believe your own diagnostic statistic manual, version 5, version 6 coming soon, you should have your license taken. You don't get to have an opinion about shit that's been decided in the Diagnostic Statistic Criteria Manual for mental health. This is not, I like red instead of blue. This is people's lives. And because I was asked to come in as the advocate on the situation, I'm sorry I talked the whole time and you didn't hear much from the system, but I don't know if I failed. I don't know if I helped. But I know one thing. She's not getting away with it because now it's on the internet. And since I feel helpless and gaslit and abused after the interaction with her and talked down to and not listened to and condescended to and patronized, then I guess I'm going to put your shit out on the internet. And I said what I said. And your patient, possibly me, depends on what he wants because I don't control his medical care. Your patient will be back to discuss this with you. And it's going to be, I want another doctor because you don't believe your own science. You don't believe your own education.
Yeah, again, that next 30-minute appointment is not going to go the way she thinks it's going to.
And I'm sorry this has been so heavy. I feel a tremendous burden right now. I feel sad. I feel angry. I feel a pit in my stomach. I feel like I'm about to cry because I don't know if I helped.
You did.
I don't know.
I mean, I literally just said you did, so now you know.
Eel, I would really... Oh, that is good to see you, by the way. But if you'll go back and watch the VOD, it was very, very important. We had a very pivotal meeting with the systems doctor who admitted point blank that she doesn't believe in DID after a year and a half of being his doctor. And it's just absolutely unacceptable. And so we made this video because I recorded her fucking ass, which is 100% illegal in my state. I mean, sorry, legal. Let's be clear about that. It's legal to record the, conversations in Arkansas. It's a one-party state, meaning as long as one person participating in the conversation knows about it, you can record. And so we played the audio from the 38 minutes, and we discussed it, and it's just gross. And it's set back his Social Security because we didn't know that she was a traitor and a fucking liar and a condescending fucking lying bitch this whole entire time. And I am glad of the one thing that, a couple things I said, but the main thing I'm glad is, as far as I'm concerned, you're not safe. I'm so glad that I said that. That's the one thing I hope she thinks about, at least.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm sorry that this was so heavy, but please go back and watch the VOD and share it with people. If you have system friends and stuff, because this cannot be happening. Because if this is happening to one person with DID, it's happening to many. And it's not just people with DID. The way she treated me was also, like, she doesn't know if I'm mentally ill. I never mentioned it. I did mention I was on Klonopin, so maybe she put 2 and 2 together. But, like, didn't she have a duty? I'm not her patient, but at the same time, I thought doctors have to be ethical at all times because they could do harm. Like, they're not allowed to treat people off the books, for example. They're not allowed to do, like, side therapy. You know what I mean? Anyways, I've gone off topic, but thank y'all for listening. And we will be putting this on YouTube as well. And once it's loaded on YouTube, we will share that link in Discord. It won't have chat in it. Well, yeah, it will. It'll be on the screen. Okay, it'll be on the screen. Okay. Because if you would please share it, I personally think listening to other people's therapy sessions or meetings or whatever, who are horrible, horrible doctors, is helping mental health patients. We need to know what to listen for, what to look for, how to fight back, and how we also need to fucking expose it. We need to expose it. Of course, we did not outright name this person. Or
no, it did in the.
Yeah, but you don't. I mean, if you don't know where we live, I mean, how the fuck? It's just last name. So, but I'm just saying, on this video of us talking on this VOD, we have not named that person or the clinic that they work at. On the audio, I think their name was brought up a couple of times, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't.
Once it was only brought up one time.
It doesn't matter. That's not the point. This is a perfect example of how we need to expose this shit and maybe help somebody. Because if this is how hard people... A year and a half, and she still doesn't believe he has DID. An altar came out right in front of you for the second time. I still can't get over it. Oh, and don't forget to have sex, everyone, and pray. And take your antipsychotic low dose. But not benzos, because that's a controlled substance that you're going to overly medicate with. What a fucking quack. All right.
Bye.
All right. We love you guys, and be good to one another, and please watch the VOD. Sorry I was so heated and serious, but to me it's that serious. So, and I love you, and I hope I did okay.
You did great.
Love you guys. I'm sorry I'm not around so much, but today I was. So there you go. Mwah. How do you end this shit?